sure that when I see the background, probably it's a good approach to just tell people what you do, what kind of things that you're targeting. See, I have to really go into your profile and look into it to understand why the profile, why that background is right there for you. So I would probably change it a bit, maybe put the word on it, what kind of roles you're targeting, because it does not relate with the project management, right? It just says the pictures there and danger word on it. So I'm like kind of curious, right? If I don't talk to you. Now, recruiters, honestly, and as a hiring manager as well, I really don't care about the background, right? It's kind of like branding. If you're consulting, doing some side hustle, if you're working on some branding piece or something, yeah, that's a great point to showcase that, which is kind of like sample what you can do. I'm really not concerned about the background so much. But then, yes, I do want to see not the blank background, but if you might as well put some background profile picture on LinkedIn, put something that stands out so people need to know what you do as well, right? So when I'm looking at your title, the headline, God's will, what I'm looking at is it's not SEO friendly, which is a search engine optimization friendly, right? So the way it works is when I, as a recruiter, when I'm looking at it on a LinkedIn recruiting tool, I'm punching some keywords of the candidates that I am going to find it on LinkedIn. It's like a Google for me, right? And I want you to think about it as well. When you're going into the Google, what do you look for when you want to find the job, right? This is not something you're targeting right now. And that's the first thing I asked you. What are you targeting? You said project. You didn't tell me you're targeting electrical and electronics engineer, right? Like, it's something that you never talk to me about it, but there's a mismatch on a headline now. So headline has to be search engine optimization friendly, where you need to end up in their search. Some recruiters use the Boolean search. Some recruiter just uses, the titles, and they're like the industry and the jargon and stuff like that. Each recruiters out there, they're not using exactly the same thing. So you really need to know how do you end up in a search. And there's the other way. There are so many ways that you can end up in their search. And I do have LinkedIn profile video for you. If you want to know how do you get found on recruiter search, go to my teachingdo.com blog and then go 11 ways to find role in LinkedIn. How do you end up on a recruiter search? I give you the exact free resources there, other than how do you optimize the headline and experience and what else can you do so you are going to be their lead magnet, right? I want to ask you all one question here, whoever is listening to me. So are you on a Facebook? Are you on a different platform media? Give me thumbs up. Give me thumbs up if you're on any other social media or even LinkedIn, doesn't matter. Once in time what happens is when you're searching for certain things, all of a sudden, the same thing keeps on popping, right? You might be wondering, what just happened? I was just searching this. Literally searching this yesterday, and why this Google and these ad keeps on coming and everything. So the other parties and organizations have set you up with a magnet now. You're their lead magnet. And this is how you, as a job seeker, if you're targeting the role, you are somebody else's lead magnet, which is the employer's lead magnet. And when you are engaging a certain way, which I teach inside my One Size Does Not Fit All program, how to end up on a search, recruiter search. So basically, it's not only about having really good LinkedIn profile, but there are other things you can do as well. So when they're searching it, they feel like, oh, this guy probably is interested. And you know why you want to be on their search? It's because who is going to reach out to the people who are never interested, right? Same thing. So you need to showcase the interest. You're interested in working with them. And either it could be by engaging with their content. There is the new features on LinkedIn. You can showcase that you're interested. You can actually highlight that. You can also say they're the top employers and you want to work there. There are so many things you can do outside of optimizing your LinkedIn to show up on the recruiter search. And that's how you need to do that. So one of the example, whose name was Rajesh, who's going to be coming on my webinar on 29th. If you have not signed up, May 29th is the webinar coming up. He was a newcomer in Canada. And he was headhunted by recruiter right after we worked together on LinkedIn optimization. So the same guy, when I came on the discovery call with him, he said to me was, I am going to go back. It was a mistake. I'm 40 years old and I'm not getting any job. And he worked in like really good companies, IBM and Oracle, like top companies back home. And he said, let's try. Let's give it a try. Try me. And then in 5 sessions, right after, literally, I taught him how to write the resume and everything, and the LinkedIn profile. He did the LinkedIn profile by 3rd week. And by 4th week, he got headhunted, meaning the role was posted. The recruiter found him because I taught him the strategy. How do you get the recruiter's lead now? And then he landed the 6-figure income with the bonus as well, right? And he's going to come in. His new story was featured by a Toronto Star as well. And he talked about it too, right? And sometimes it's not you, it's you, because you don't understand how the hiring works in the back end as well. So he's going to talk about his journey in Canada as a newcomer on May 29th, live with me on my One Size Does Not Fit All. And if you have not saved the spot, make sure you do that. Go on my profile, teachingdo.com/webinar, and then you can book the spot right now. Be part of that as well. It's going to be free for you. Okay. So God's will, let's go back and see the experience sections here. I'm going back in there. It doesn't mean so much, right? I'm not telling you to write the whole story, but be very strategic about it, right? Because you said experienced project engineer with a demonstrated history of working in industrial automations industry, and you put like some of the keywords in there, right? But it's still not clear to me what were the accomplishment. And also, if you don't know, for the people who are listening to me right now, is when recruiters are looking out for you, some people might not be logging in. Some people might not have access to the contact information. Put it there as well on About Me sections. And it depends on how you are featuring your profile as well. Is it publicly available for you, right? So yes, there's the risk of getting spam messages as well. But if you're looking for a job, I tell my clients, go out there and make it very easy for a recruiter to find you, right? And if there's no way to find the email from you, they're going to move on. If you're not active on LinkedIn, they have a quota to meet. Very aggressive. You're not the only one who's going to get the message. They have the standard message. So if I'm posting anything, I can send same message, customizing using the AI and say, I'm hiring for this role. I'm hiring for this role. Are you interested, right? I'm not even going to share the job description as a recruiter right now. I'm going to say, if you're interested, let me know, because now I've captured you from somewhere as a lead. LinkedIn algorithm gave me your profile as a lead. Somehow I got your email, and you got to end up on that search, especially if you're looking at getting leads on LinkedIn, Indeed, and the other job sites, right? And this is where you need to understand that it's not about you anymore. It's about how do you get those messages from people, right? And now, for you, when I'm not seeing the email address right now, even if I go on profile, I'm already tired of going all the way down to find your email address. And I probably would not even connect with you right now. If I you're my 3rd connections. If I'm click on contact informations in your page on top, I don't see your email address. All I see is your birthday date, right? Is it really important to have a birthday date right there, right? So think about it. What goes in the contact informations? Make it easy for hiring managers or job poster, because they need to move on very quickly, right? And more faster they are, more representations, like you're not the only one they're going to be representing to the employer. And there's a different kind of recruiters out there. There are going to be third-party recruiter, agency recruiter. They're building the case to go back and sell your talent, right? And there's going to be talent acquisitions team employed by the company who's looking out. There's going to be sourcer. Does anyone know who are the sourcers? Give me thumbs up if you know who are the sourcer. So like sometimes the sourcers are somebody who do not even have a job posting. They're just creating the talent pool for future. They're creating your LinkedIn as a lead magnet. And when the opportunity comes in, they already have you as a project, and you need to end up on their list as well. And they're probably not going to be the one to reach out to you. Sometime, depending on the company's hierarchy process, what happens is they're going to go out there and send you the message. And when they feel like, okay, get me your resume, you're going to send them a resume, and they're going to be forwarding that resume to the talent acquisition team or the main recruiter who's going to possibly call you. So you need to understand the hiring stage. Who is going to be interviewing? Are they only sourcing me? What's the next step? And what's the next step now? Talent acquisition, sometime HR manager for leadership role, right? And who else I'd be interviewing? And you need to be consistent as well to end up in their search as well. So about me sections need a lot of work. When I'm talking about the experience section, there's nothing on your profile for me to just find out you are the project manager, great, back home in Nigeria, but I have no idea how the Nigerian system works, right? The KPIs might be different, your key performance indicator might be different, your net promoter scores, all those could be different than we're used to in Canada, especially for the field that you're targeting, electric field. It's a regulated field. And I'm glad that you're targeting the project management role because you have the history of it, right? Because if you're targeting the project engineer, obviously it needs to be regulated. You need to upgrade the skills and everything. So here you have so much opportunity to work on it, to showcase what you have done. So they're not guessing. Give them the information, snapshot of it. And if they need more information, if they like you, if they connect well with the job descriptions, then they'll be in touch with you, right? This is still not the guarantee that you can get an interview. They're just scanning your profile. Just like you, when you want to buy something on Amazon, whatever it is, what's happening is you're just scanning through 30 seconds and something's going to pop out, which is like, oh my God, exactly that color I wanted. That's the size for me. I'm going to go and buy it, right? Exactly the same thing with the recruiter as well. So you're not going to be ending up if you just provide simple, basic information. Why does your LinkedIn profile as a project manager should stand out, right? Why does the other people get an interview? There is a clear difference. There's no one size fits all. You have to customize it accordingly for each and every role. A LinkedIn profile is a snapshot of it though. So I'm looking at your active as well, which is great. So go ahead and join the group. I don't know if you've joined the group. I see some of the group right there, but are you engaged on the group, right? So in Canada, I see some of the group outside of Canada. But then it's probably time for you to go and join the group because a lot of people there, a lot of people might be looking for people. As a recruiter, did you know that I can search people in a group as well? And the chances are I'm going to probably find my lead job seekers in a specific group where I'm going to be hiring for. And it has to be right group for you as well. So that takes a lot of research as well, right? And the companies I'm seeing, yes, you're following certain companies. Now, are you going into the companies and telling them you're interested? Do you know how to do that? If not, then go and watch my YouTube channel. I give you the step-by-step guide under the shorts. How do you communicate with the employer saying that you are committed and you are interested and they're the top choices for you? You can do that, and you can watch the video on YouTube if you want to know more about it. That being said, I'm going to see Anmol here. Anmol, I'm going to just quickly see your profile, only not bring you up the stage, if that's okay, because I know that I'm going to have issues with the audio. I am in your profile, Anmol, right now. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to bring you up on the stage and see if it's it was the LinkedIn Audio Live or something. All right, can you talk to me, Anmol? Where are you joining me from? You're muted. I just want to test this. I don't know if it was me or the other person who came in the stage. Let me know. You're still muted, so I don't know. You have to unmute yourself. Maybe there's a glitch. I'm fine with that, but I just wanted to hear from you. Yeah, I didn't drop you. You just got dropped, okay? It's not me. Do I find him on this? Do I see him here? I think he got kicked out. Anmol's here. Okay, again, bringing you. Did he get kicked out, Anmol?
Yeah,
Okay, great. Where are you joining me from?
Alberta.
Alberta. Okay. And what's the role you're targeting right now? Are you currently employed?
Yeah,
You are employed right now?
yeah.
Okay. And what's a role you would be targeting if you were to target?
Mm, uh, Probably mechanical.
Okay. So there's a mechanical, and then it's an umbrella, right? What exactly you'd be targeting? Mechanical is like mechanical, biggest one. What is the role that you're targeting? Because you're targeting, you are right now a mechanical designer, right? It would be the similar type of role. Is it safe to assume
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay. And how many years of experience do you have on that mechanical designing?
One.
And right now you're working there. Okay. And did you start working there right after graduations? What about the role that you worked back home? Was it a similar role, which was for 7 months?
Yeah,
So you do have more than 1 year then, right? See, how you
yeah,
frame matters too. Remember that, right? So don't discount that 7 months that you've done it somewhere else. It's the international experience too, right?
yeah,
All right. And you're okay. So your license, you're up to date. So you're going to
yeah,
be issued. Okay. So you're up to date. There's no issues with the licensing. It's a regulated field. You know that. You're already aware of it. So you're up to date with the knowledge, right? The requirement.
yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to put you down on the stage and I'm going to quickly review it. All right, so Anmol, you can do better with the background again. Maybe put something that you're targeting, some kind of design, and you can do that on Canva. You can go to Canva if you know how to use the Canva. There is a YouTube LinkedIn optimizations, and you can watch my YouTube as well to see how do you go about using the Canva. What are the sizes you should be using a LinkedIn banner, and you can go and put that banner in there so people would see as, oh, he's looking for something in mechanical designing, right? One of the clients I had who was a mechanical engineer back home, and he did some courses here as well. And he was into the car. So he put the car, like really fascinating, beautiful car on his picture, right? And he loves it. That showcased his passion, but the people who are recruiters and hiring managers dropping in and the profile, they kind of knew like, oh, I see it why the car is there because he's targeting similar kind of job, right? So start thinking about it as well. How do you relate to it? And it could be completely different for other people, social media people, right? Tony, we talked about it last time, Tony Henry on it. He's a founder. He was asking me last time about, hey, can you audit it? But I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking for leads. And I gave him some kind of tips. Like it could be completely different. When you're job seekers, the strategy is completely different. When you are a consultant trying to get the free leads or trying to get more clients, it could be different. So there's no one size fits all on it, right? So that's a start. And on Mold, your headline needs to be SEO friendly, which is search engine optimization friendly, right? It's missing designer on it. I mean, you are leading with the credential, which is fine. That's one of the aspect of job search. That's totally fine, but you can do a lot better. Go and watch my YouTube. How can you do it on a LinkedIn playlist? You have that as well. So again, when you're finding the job in Google, what do you look for? Try to look into the job descriptions and see what are they asking? What are the mandatory requirement? What's the must have? And those kind of things should be all on the LinkedIn. Not that you have to put everything on LinkedIn, right? That's too much. Sometimes you might have to leave it the way it is, so that way they keep on guessing. But don't leave the really good piece of information, which is going to flag you out of, oh, the person does not meet the requirement, and it's missing right there on the headline, right? And you need to put some accomplishment, the jargon that in Canada, that you are you have that experience on it as well. So I see that you are active on LinkedIn, but it's really not active. It's just, I'm looking at congratulations, that's it. But that's not being active. You gotta engage with the strategy, right? Again, engaging with the right type of content, the right type of people in there as well. So the reason you're doing it is, of course, I don't want you to spend 24/7 on engaging and writing the content. That's not what I teach inside my one size does not fit all. There's a strategy that you need to engage with the right kind of content, right kind of recruiters, right kind of employers, so that way you end up as their lead magnet. And that's a strategy that you're going to have to learn it, not by just going into the post and congratulating other people only. Now start thinking about when you're putting the content out there, when you're commenting on someone else's post, what does that do to you as a job seeker, right? So put that in there, end up on recruiter search when they look for people like you. And I want you to think about it. How do you go about doing it? I mean, follow the company pages, start engaging on their career interests. And what's going to happen? Follow them. And then what's going to happen is when the recruiters are looking for people like you, right? If it's a targeted company, when you click on that, I'm interested, you are the top choice and everything, you are their lead magnet again. Same thing that I've already talked about it too, right? So you got to start doing that. So on experience sections that I'm looking at, it could be a lot better. You only have 3 bullets. You could have a lot better in 1 year, right? Start thinking about it. What are the job descriptions looking for in your targeted industry? And when you're saying graduate research assistants, I know you have a lot of points in there, but try to relate to the targeting. I really like the bullets that you put it in there, resulting in 30% increase in production efficiency and everything. That's exactly what recruiters are looking for. Why is it not there on your current role? I'm pretty sure you have so much that you've been doing right now, right? So start thinking about that. But those bullets needs to be customized based on the job posting. It's not a one-time thing. And I tell people all the time is LinkedIn strategy, LinkedIn optimizations, it's not only the one-time thing, all right? I don't want you to sleep on it and say, oh, it's going to work for me. Now I want you to give you one hack. Now, this is how the algorithm works, okay? So when you go, let's say, not only LinkedIn, when you go on the Indeed, let's say if I want to hire someone, I can, did you know this? I can pull people who just recently, updated the resume, updated the profile, algorithm driven, right? So this is why this is a continuous work. If your resume is there from last year, last week, whatever, thousands of people are submitting their resume in Indeed and LinkedIn. And did you know on LinkedIn, you can submit the resume as well, which is a strategy. I don't want people to submit the resume on LinkedIn on a profile. I use specific strategy to teach my client when do you put the resume and when do you not put the resume, right? Because what happens with the recruiter is as a recruiter, when I'm looking at the recruiter tool, I can pull people who already has resume inserted in there, or I can pull people without resume as well. So guess what's going to happen? I don't have a time really to go back and ask for more resume. If I don't like a resume, I would automatically assume that, oh, what's in for me? I don't think it's the right people, so I'm going to move on, right? And sometimes putting a resume is really, really good idea. And sometimes putting a resume might not be a good idea because there are so many scammers and they might take your phone number and email, right? And there are spams as well, right? And people have access to those information as well on Indeed as well. And anyone can open the account on LinkedIn and start recruiting as well, right? So be cautious about it. When do you use it? Are you comfortable? And sometimes identity theft might happen too. So safety issue happens too, right? So you got to use a strategy when you're putting a resume out there right there publicly, even though people are using the recruiting tool, okay? So, and the risk of, let's say, that's why I don't like people putting the resume on LinkedIn as well, the feature area as well. And the reason is when they're looking at the resume, they're like, there's nothing else, but I want you to think about it. When you're looking for, let's say, mechanical designer right now on Mold, that's who you're targeting. How many 10 jobs you look at it, right? There are 10 jobs, you're looking at it. And what's happening is, do you think the 10 jobs are exactly the same thing? No. And this is why the resume needs to be customized, right? Do you hear me? Why the resume needs to be customized now? Because now every employers have a different demand, different KPIs, different measurement goal, different tools, right? Although some kind of tools might be standard depending on the industry. This is why you need to customize a resume. And if you're spending hours and hours on resume, right? Maybe the career clarity is not there. Maybe you don't know what you want. And sometimes you need to sit down and say, you know what? I don't know how do I do the resume in a couple of hours, and why am I spending so much time in resume? And you should not be. If you're really clear on what you want, one resume should only take some time to update it, and you should learn it, how to do that, right? Now, by the way, for the people who are just joining me right now, I have a webinar coming up on May the 29th for free at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's on my profile as well. Go ahead and sign up. It's for free. My clients are coming up as well to talk about their past struggle. And I'm going to share frameworks, how employers are hiring, what they look for in resume, and what kind of interview framework and strategies the people are using it. Personally, I've used it in top companies, and the interview that was developed by HR and myself as well. I'm going to share those strategies. How are my clients getting ahead by using the 4-step model? I would love for you to be part of that for free, May 29th. It's in my profile. Go ahead and sign up. There's a limited time saving spot for you. Go ahead and do that. So now when I'm looking at all the way at the bottom, are you joining some group? I'm just looking at one group that you're joining, right? Is it in Canada? It better be in Canada, I'm thinking. Let's see here. I don't even know if it's in Canada. Probably. So it's good that you're just joining one group. Join more group that's related with the mechanical, designing as well. It says public group, join construction and project manager. So you're to me, that makes me think you're targeting construction just because I'm looking at the group as well, right? That's a gist of it. And I think I've already, if you want to know like what I've audited for previous people and what kind of strategy I gave in, you have replay available for you for a limited time. You can go check your profile, what I'm looking at it as well, and go from there. You can go to career newsletter, subscribe to it, and you will have access to it right away after you subscribe to it. Sahir, I'm bringing you up on the stage. And I'm going to wrap this up. If there's no one else who wants to come up on the stage for me to review your LinkedIn profile, I'm going to wrap this up after. If you want me to review your profile, come up on the stage by raising your hand. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. Sahir, what's the role that you're targeting?
Hi, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much for optimizing my profile. Ma'am, I'm looking for molecular biology and biotechnology. I'm an engineer basically. And I'm looking for research and a scientist, a research worker, a researcher, something like that.
Okay, so I'm looking at that. I'm going to bring you down. All right, I like your background. It just makes like I would know exactly what you're looking for. Just looking at something with that particular industry. Great job on that. And I also see open to work banner right there. So I can literally see it. I see the country you're targeting. And these are the things that people should be doing it as well. Green banner, it's up to you. You want to do it or not. Sometime when you're actively working, it probably is hard to let other people know you're looking for a job because your bosses might be on LinkedIn. I'll leave it up to you as well. But if you have a tools, why not use it, right? So biomechanical. Here's the thing, right? There's a mismatch on the titles I hear. So I see engineer, I see biologist, I see specialist, product specialist, I see on-site medical rep, right? These are like 4 or 5 different titles. At least I'm speaking from Canadian perspective because I do have clients in Dubai as well. I work with them. But what happens is when you're targeting 4 or 5 different titles, to me as a recruiter and hiring manager, I feel like you're not really clear on it. I want to hire, especially on this industry, I really want to hire someone who is an expert on it, right? So probably adjust the title which is really clear. Product specialist in Canada is completely different. Medical rep is completely different in Canada. And I don't know how is it different in Dubai. So maybe stick to your domain to make it look like you know what you want and this is where you would be ending up with. Otherwise, you're going to be ending up with everything. And I'm telling people, if you're talking to everybody, you're not talking to everybody, right? So that's a marketing strategy. I've learned it. And this is why I have very defined niche market where I'm just working with a particular community and I'm clear on it. Who do I want to attract as a client and who do I feel like they're not my clients? So I'm okay to disqualify it, right? So think about it too. Who do you want to attract? Attracting the right employer is all about making it very clear on your headline and making it very clear who you are and the expert that you're in your field as well, being clear on industry and the years of experience and everything. So let's take a look at it. I don't know why there's a quote. It starts with an about sections. I would probably revisit it. And to me, it sounds like a lot of, I think, a lot of fluffy things, not much really SEO optimized, committed to collaborating. Like all those things are fluffy things, right? This cannot be validated. I would rather, for example, right, if you're telling me that you're a result-oriented person, I don't want to hear you're a result-oriented person. Show me the number, how you're a result-oriented person. For sales role, converted 30% of sales call, right? Like, sales per call was 30%. And that was like top ratios within the department, whatever it is, right? Where are you? And when you are compared within the industry. So show me how you can collaborate, right? The collaboration is a soft skills, and that comes in an interview. This is why they have an interview, to ask you the right questions. Tell me about the time when you really had a hard time collaborating or solving the problem or conflict resolutions, right? That actually would be the soft skill questions. And it's not seen on the resume. Resume is most of the time a hard skills. And if you want to communicate the soft skills, bring it an example with the, which I teach inside my program, using the CAR strategy, which is the context, accent, and, what did you do and the result of it too, right? So you need to learn the framework on it, and similar formula on LinkedIn as well. So you need to do a lot better on the About Me sections. Again, contact information. If I'm not logged in, I've already talked about it. Where am I contacting you, right? I'm probably not going to connect with you, or I'm maxed out on connections. Like right now, I'm maxed out. I have over 100,000 followers. I don't have a connection. That's why there are requests pending. I don't accept it. So you need to make sure you give me the email so I can reach out to you by email and put you on a lead as well as an email in your profile too, right? I like the way that you put the top skills on it, but like on a top skills, scientific research and publication is not the top skills in my opinion, right? There's no one who's gonna put the publication as a top skills on it, right? Is it needed in your field? Yes, probably there's a publication sector, sections right there, sole publications. I'm glad that it's there, but top skills should be something that it's warranted in your industry, right? It's a must have on it. So start strategizing that as well. And I like it that you use the best way to let people know about you. And I'm not going to go into detail. So I'm hoping these are something that you did it yourself on the feature item when you are putting it out there. Hopefully it's your work. But then what I'm confused about is, by just looking at your feature item, I don't know if it's your work or it's just putting an article that you're really fascinated about, right? When you go onto my feature sections, people know exactly where to go after that. If you look at my feature sections, it would say, hey, sign up for my webinar. Do you want some speaker? Here is how you contact me, right? Do you want to hear my success story from my client? Here's what you can do. Where do you go after that, right? So over here, if you're a job seeker, if you're targeting, probably change the heading. If this is yours, and put it why people must read this. This is your content, right? To me, without going on to it, which I would not have time to go for if as a recruiter, I couldn't care less on it. Make it very make it something that I need to read this guy right now, right? I see that you're a little bit active, not really active. And your profile experience says chemistry and biology teacher, which is kind of mismatch on what you're targeting. It's been 9 months and you have 4 years of, and the title itself, right? Lab demonstrator is not something that you can find it. You can't find it. I would probably try to find out what's the title you can find it. And what's a title you can transfer the skills as well and go from there as well. So title matters. It matters. And I tell you one example, when I'm working with the people from back home, so many people, newcomers and immigrant, they have this title deputy manager back home. And I'm like, what does that translate to in your country? Think about it. In Pakistan, you're working as a lab demonstrator. In Dubai, what does that translate to? How can you relate that title into that company that you're working with it? Hopefully that makes sense. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're still here, or am I just talking to myself? So yeah, if it makes sense, let me know. All right, great. Perfect. All right, so you have project, like, it's amazing to see the project and everything added in there, but I think you definitely need to add some experience and accomplishment and stuff like that to stand out and relate why you want to go from lab to where you want to go, because a teacher is something that, it's fine. You're an educator, probably put it in there. What are you teaching as well, where you want to transition out to? It's like pivoting, career changing, but it's similar kind of changing. And that could relate to your past journey. Because if I'm just looking at the teacher and you tell me that your target is like engineering, I'm like, I don't see any engineering. Where are you? Like, I'm not going to go and find the engineering degree, right? I don't see the engineering degree, as a matter of fact, right? Master of Philosophy. Yeah, MPhil at the bottom. But then maybe on to the about me sections, you can rephrase it, why you're going from here to here. You always have to relate to it so the employer can say, oh, I see why he's the right fit. For example, for me, what happened was I was a hiring manager in top companies in the banking industry, and in a contact center. I've led the team, sales team, mortgage, deposit, quality and coaching, right? I have done that myself. But like when I wanted to become a career consultant, I started relating, why am I the right expert for people, right? I had to say, listen, I've seen the hiring, a journey. I've been part of the hiring team. I've scanned the resume thousands of times. I have done the interview and I know what I'm talking about. I've done the career fair. I've recruited from university. I've done the bachelor's recruiting. Personally, I've gotten 9 promotions within 12 years, right? By using the same strategy, which I'm teaching right now, by the way. And then I've said, I was laid off in 1 minute over the phone and I bounced back with the offers in the new city. So I have given example of why I'm the right person to talk about it, because I've lived it. I've seen the hiring world. And I have done that. And this is why I'm the right person to talk about it, right? So you have to relate it. If I don't talk about it, no one's going to know. It's like, who is she coming out and talking about LinkedIn optimizations? And I'm like, hey, I've used the recruiting tool. And I have recruited from the recruiting tool on LinkedIn. This is why I know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not giving you the Google advice. You see, does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it's coming along, because you always have to relate to it and say, why am I the right person to get this job? Because I've had the background and experience. Because employers do not hire a degree, unfortunately. They hire someone who can talk about their accomplishment, relate to their pain, and they have a solution, all right? So I'm going to close this up, Tharmis. I'm going to be quickly going into your profile here. Let me see. What are you targeting, Tharmis, right now? Just give me quickly.
Hey, thanks for adding me. I was in India with 14 years of experience in sales, especially in the pharmaceutical sales. But here I'm in sales, but it's industrial tools and plumbing sales. So I'm thinking to getting back into the pharmaceutical sales here in Canada. So I'm looking for the same, but the sales in pharmaceuticals.
Okay, so and you are in Saskatoon right now. Like, are you thinking of, are you able to relocate as well if you get the right role?
Yeah.
Or you have to be there?
Yeah, I can relocate.
Okay. All right, let's see here. I'm going to move you down. Okay, so I like the background to it. Great job on the background. So it kind of gives me something about, what you want to do, but really not clear. But then, yeah, I guess it. I can relate to it, why it's there. I like the keyword on it, 14 years of experience. I don't know if I would put 14 years of experience on top of it, because that could be something recruiter can see it on experience sections anyway. I would probably rephrase it with something different where it's SEO, where you end up the jargon and everything. B2B, I get it. District manager. Okay. So here, like 3 things that I'm looking at it, right? 3 roles: DM, area sales manager, territory manager. And I want you to understand how the reporting line could mismatch with what you're looking for, right? Territory manager could be someone else in that area. Sales manager could be like, something else. And district manager is something else where you'd be managing the senior sales leader. So you want to make sure that you have a correct title when you're putting on the headline. And when you go down there and I am a driven, this here. Okay, I see infusion, like I see oncology, respiratory, cardiology, like, some kind of lingo in there, jargon in there. Okay. I'm just looking at the high level on about me sections. I like some kind of accomplishment you have it there. My only concern is that accomplishment something that it shows up on the job description every time, right? Because what happens on LinkedIn is when you try to put everything on LinkedIn, it's not targeted to the specific role. So try to go high level on LinkedIn. That's going to be my strategy probably. So that way you're not including everything and you're being very specific of what you're targeting. I know pharma, but I see I'm a driven leader in medical sales, which makes me understand, okay, you're into that industry, which is great. Over 14 years of industry, that's great. I have a proven track record of success, and that's a problem I have because I don't want to hear it. Show me on top. That's me. I don't want to have time to go all that at the bottom and say, I'm going to look for it. What did you do? But give me at the, on top. I teach a strategy called having them at hello. And that's like always at the top, just like the hook. When you look at the marketing material ads or something on, wherever it is, what gets you? You only have 20 seconds and you're like, oh, I like that. Oh gosh, I love that. I'm going to keep on reading. And that's what you got to have when it comes to your LinkedIn profile as well, right? And I see that you're quite active on LinkedIn as well. And I would probably pick the strategy. Why are you active? And what do you want to attract to, right? I see that you're active and I'm assuming you're active. There's a reason for being active. Are you active for the sake of being active? Or are you active, because you have a strategy to be active? And I see that you post it as well, which is great. But for you as a job seeker, instead of posting, probably have a strategy of being active by making sure that you end up on a recruiter search. And I bet Saskatchewan has like so many pharmaceutical companies, and you probably are going to go onto their career page and then go and be active there, because now what's happening is it's a small town, right? Small city. And when they're finding the talent around that area, normally they recruit locally, then you end up on their lead magnet, which is a recruiter tool that when I'm looking at someone in my kilometer, around, let's say if I want to hire someone from 50 kilometer up to 50 kilometer, I would probably see it and you would probably end up, but you would not end up on my search if you don't engage with my content too, or if you don't follow my company, if I'm going to hire, because recruiter tools have that spotlight section. So understand that as well. Overseeing. Okay. So I see you say overseeing and stuff like that, but I'm really not clear on top. Who are you overseeing? I'm not really clear on direct report. Like I really need to, when you're targeting, for people who are targeting the leadership role, one thing that a lot of people fail to go and communicate is who are they leading? Who are they leading? Direct reports, right? And does it connect well with the role that they're applying for? So for example, if you're targeting the DM role, are you leading senior manager, right? If you're not, then that's one of the requirement in so many job description. I want you to think about it. And I've talked about it time over and over. If you're targeting VP role, and if you're not saying that you were leading senior leaders, then you're out, because the job descriptions would be, you should be able to coach the senior leader as well, right? So think about that too, strategy too. Who are you leading? Budget, if there's a budget to handle, there's a revenue you have to handle and everything, it needs to be crystal clear. So that way people are like, oh, that's a leader I want to hire. Let's talk more on it, right? To get you that interview right there. And again, LinkedIn is to attract the recruiter, but that doesn't mean that it's going to get you higher. It's one step of branding to make them curious, and they still want the resume, and the resume would be all about the customizations, right? And this is why I tell one of the clients I had where he was contacted by the recruiter, and I keep on talking about it him as well. The great example who's going to be coming in my free webinar talking about his story May 29th. If you have not signed up, please go ahead and sign up. It's on my profile as well. May 29th, free job search and career strategy, where I'm going to teach you my framework, and it's brand new and I've developed it and it's been working out great. The client did the LinkedIn profile within a couple of sessions, he got the call from recruiter from the LinkedIn profile, and he calls me. You know what? I'm so excited. And he went from 0 interviews. He had no interview at all, right? And he was newcomer in Canada. He said, I'm super happy. I'm going to send the resume that we worked on it. And I'm like, no, you're not sending the resume that you submitted or you have a master resume. Let's see the job descriptions together. And I want you to rewrite the resume and customize it and send it to her. So that way, when she goes back to the employer hiring manager, there's no going back. You're the right fit. Recruiter's job is not to coach you how to write the resume. Get that in your head, okay? Recruiter's job is not to train you how you do the interview either. You should know that better, right? The least the recruiter can do is what kind of questions you should be focusing on. If they're extra nice, or they're going to say, we use the framework called like, STAR, SAR, whatever it is, right? That's the least they can tell you. But it's your job to make sure, give them what they want. They're not going to coach you. All they're going to say is resume is wrong. All they're going to say is like, we've decided with someone else. Hiring manager didn't want to. They're not going to come back and say, hey, change this for me. They don't do that. And that's not their job. They don't get paid for this, right? So it's too late. So that way, groups right there. I'm glad that you have joined some group and stuff like that, which is great. Are you engaged in the group as well? Make sure you do that as well. And skills, I'm looking at it. I don't know. Skills could be a lot better. Interpersonal skills is soft skills for me, Dharmesh. That's something I would not know until I actually sit down and interview. Here's the thing. When people talk about, I have great communication skills, that's something I cannot find it without talking to you, right? I have great conflict resolution skills. I don't know until I actually start talking to you on interview. So you need to give me the hard skills, and it needs to be listed on top as well. And I'm looking at the industry experience, market knowledge. Yeah, what does that mean? I don't think anyone punches it on the recruiter tools and say, I need someone with the market knowledge. You know what I mean? So start thinking about it. Would they say, I need someone with the communication skills? No. You're expected to have good communication skills if you're targeting the leadership role, especially it's a sales role, territory manager. You're expected to go and develop that business altogether, and you're expected to know the market already, right? And no one punches, I want someone with the market knowledge. That's something that's going to come in on the phone screening, and they're going to say, what do you know about this territory and Saskatchewan area? Walk me through, right? Like, who do you know? Who are the stakeholders you think? Who are the competitors that we have in this pharma industry and everything like that? Hope that helps. All right, guys, in order to wrap this up for the final thing, if you want to know what I looked at and stuff like that, you can still get the replay on my career newsletter. When you go to teachingdo.com newsletter, you can get the replay of this audit for a limited time. Go and grab it right away. You will get it. It's parked there for you for a limited time, teachingdo.com/newsletter. And if you want to join in my free webinar, which is coming up on May 29th, go ahead and save the spot right now at teachingdo.com/webinar. And I'm going to teach you my strategy, my framework, my lived experience, the results my clients have gotten by using the same exact strategy for the first time ever. I'm doing that. Pulling all the curtain and telling you how you can stand out in the market as well by using the strategy, how to write the resume, how to talk about yourself and interview and everything. I look forward for you to come and join me, and go and subscribe to my May 29th. It's on my profile all over. Thank you so much for coming in, everybody, and send me a DM if you want me to come up with any other sessions, because I've been doing LinkedIn audit. It feels like people want to come in, but if there's any other sessions that you feel like it would be helpful, send me DM as well. Take care. 1, 2, 3. I'm out, and have yourself a fantastic, fantastic weekend, everybody. I'll see you on May 29th webinar. Go and sign up.